With over 300 event integrations, it's an understatement to say there's nuance and optionality to how you can forward your data. We are going to cover off some of the most common considerations when setting up your event integrations. The first thing to consider is to ensure your data is filtered appropriately for each output. You can find your filters by going to Connections and Filter. And this is where you're going to be able to see all the different filters for the various data points that you send to mParticle. The second thing that you're going to want to consider are the connection specific settings for each output. To access these, you'll go to Connections and Connect, select an applicable input, and then hover over the particular output that you want to access the settings to and click on the gear icon. For this example, we're using Amazon S3, which provides you a number of different settings, things like writing in an S3 bucket name, as well as a number of different checkboxes that will allow you to forward or not forward various types of data. If in doubt on what each of these connection settings mean, mParticle does provide tooltips, which explains what each of these settings mean. And you can always go to our documentation via docs.mparticle.com. Finally, we want to ensure that we establish the appropriate forwarding rules. To access the forwarding rules, you will go to Connections and Connect. You'll select an available input, and then you will click into one of the applicable outputs. And this will pull up your various forwarding rules. Now, there's three primary types of forwarding rules you can apply. Rules applies to AWS Lambda rules that if you have access to, you can actually write your own rules to be applied to a particular output. When you tab over to forwarding, you'll also see that we allow you to establish some basic forwarding rules in the UI. So you could do things like only forward when a particular user attribute or event attribute is available. In this case, you can see that I've set up a forwarding rule to say only forward data when the user attribute country equals USA. You have a very similar functionality by being able to only forward or not forward when a particular advertising publisher is provided. Similarly, you can establish forwarding rules based on the various CCPA and GDPR compliance states that you have set up. And then finally, you can apply a forwarding rule to only forward logged in users. The third type of forwarding rule you can apply is user sampling. So by default, mParticle forwards 100% of your data to the connected output. But in cases where you might be doing a POC of a new tool or you're trying to limit the data volume in a connected output, you can actually adjust the percentage of data that's forwarded from a particular input anywhere between 0 and 100%.